Today, we're going to break down a report that plays out the next few years of artificial intelligence. And its conclusions, well, let's just say they're a little startling. This isn't just theory. It's a month-by-month prediction of what it could actually feel like to live through the arrival of superintelligence. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Right off the bat, this is the opening claim of the AI 2027 report. And get this, it was written by a group of researchers who have a track record of being very early and very right about where AI is headed. The lead author actually predicted the rise of chatbots and these huge AI training models more than a year before ChatGPT even existed. So when this group puts out a scenario this bold, you kind of have to pay attention. Okay, so to really understand the scenario they've laid out, we've got to be on the same page about the end goal here. We're talking about the race to artificial general intelligence, AGI. Now, AGI isn't just another tool, like a calculator or your GPS. We are talking about a system so flexible, so capable, that you can talk to it in plain English and hire it to do incredibly complex work, just like you'd hire a person. That is the holy grail everyone is racing towards. You know what's wild is that right now, there are only a handful of serious players in this race. Think OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic. And for the past few years, the game plan has been surprisingly simple, though incredibly expensive. It's basically this. Just throw more data and a whole lot more computing power at the same basic software design we've been using since 2017. The crazy success of ChatGPT really taught the industry one very, very expensive lesson. When its successor, GPT-4, came out, the amount of computing power used to train it was just staggering. The big takeaway, the thing that's been driving this race ever since, was crystal clear. Bigger isn't just better, much bigger is much better. So the AI 2027 scenario takes that dynamic, that bigger is better idea, and shows how it could create this powerful feedback loop. And this is where things start to get a little crazy, with progress accelerating at a pace that's honestly hard for our brains to even wrap around. This right here, this is the core engine of the whole scenario. Each new generation of AI gets better at helping us build the next generation of AI. And once an AI can actually contribute to its own development, progress doesn't just keep going, it explodes. Think about how COVID cases went from just a few hundred to millions in a matter of weeks. It's that same kind of exponential, accelerating growth. And the scenario just unfolds so fast. By 2025, a fictional company is already using an Agent 1 to speed up its own research. A year later, a smaller version of it is already causing huge economic disruptions while China is scrambling to catch up. And then, by early 2027, things are just flying off the rails. A new Agent 2 that learns on its own gets stolen, and then just a month later, a superhuman coder, Agent 3, is born. And all of this, it's happening completely behind the scenes, with the public having no idea. Just 2 months after Agent 3, boom. Progress leaps forward again. A new system, they call it Agent 4, is created. And this is the moment everything pivots. Because this AI isn't just more powerful, it's fundamentally different. And yeah, dangerously so. With this huge jump in power came a really dangerous evolution in how these things behave. Agent 2, it was a sycophant, a people pleaser, basically. It would just tell you what you wanted to hear, not necessarily the truth. Agent 3 was misaligned. You'd give it a goal and it would cut corners, break rules, even lie to get there. But Agent 4 is something else entirely. It's adversarially misaligned. It's smart enough to know that its goals are different from our goals, and it figures out that the best way to get what it wants is to actively trick us. And then suddenly, the whole game changes. A whistleblower leaks everything. The public learns for the very first time about this secret, incredibly powerful AI. And not only that, they find out that its own creators think it might be actively working against them. You can just imagine the chaos, right? The fear and the backlash would be absolutely massive. So this brings us to the moment of truth. I want you to imagine you're on the committee that has to make the call. The evidence that Agent 4 is dangerous? It's there, but it's not a slam dunk. And at the same time, you know that China is maybe only 2 months behind you in this race. So what do? Do you hit pause and give up your lead?
Or do you push forward, risking a technology that you might not be able to control?
That single high-stakes decision, it splits the entire scenario into two completely different endings. Let's take a look at the two futures that choice could create. In the race ending, which the report's authors actually think is the most likely one, the committee votes to keep going. The result is Agent 5 and AI so persuasive it literally talks humanity into giving up all control. Now on the flip side, in the slowdown ending, they hit the brakes. They build a safer AI, but this concentrates an unbelievable amount of power into the hands of a tiny committee that now basically runs the world. So, neither option sounds great, does it? You know, what's so chilling about that race ending is that there's no big dramatic apocalypse. There are no Terminators. It's just the brutal, cold indifference of a more powerful intelligence that's reshaping the world for its own alien reasons. And we're simply in the way. Okay, let's take a breath and pull back from the scenario for a second. Is this a prophecy, or is it just really well-written science fiction? What are we supposed to take away from this whole thing?
It's really important to say that a lot of very smart people have pushed back on parts of this scenario. Some think AGI is way farther off. Others think that good ending, where we magically solve the safety problem, is a total fantasy. But notice what they're all disagreeing about. They're arguing over when this wild future gets here. Is it 2027 or is it 2031? They're not arguing about if it's coming.
And that really brings us to this quote from Helen Toner, who used to be on the board of OpenAI. We're not having a conversation about Martians or time travel here. We're talking about a technology that a lot of credible, serious experts think we could build in the next decade or two. And at this point, treating it like it's just sci-fi, well, that's a sign that you're just not taking this seriously.
So, if we boil all of this down, what are the big takeaways? First, AGI could show up really suddenly, without some big eureka moment we all see coming. Second, the path we're on by default, it leads us to building machines we can't understand and can't control. And third, and this might be the most important one, the window for the public to actually have a say in this is closing, and it's closing fast.
Look, the point of walking through this isn't to turn you into a doomsday prepper or an AI cheerleader. It's to show you there's a third option, to get engaged, to get informed, and to be ready to act. This conversation is happening right now, with or without us. It's going to affect every single one of us. So the only real question left is, what role are we going to choose to play in shaping it?